no worries about that. Heavy armored versus a massive unit, no problem there.
Yeah, and you can see from Cheticus all the cool stuff you can do if you just have the extra APM. I mean, while he brought those queens out to actually transfuse all of the Hydralisks, and
Yeah.
now we see Storm going down. So I think Wes is just sort of teching all over the place at the moment.
Yep.
I guess he forces some tech switches, but it's expensive for him just as it's expensive for his opponent. And I think he sort of ceded up quite a bit of map control because Cheticus is going to be free to expand and expand again if he needs to. Because unlike the situation where Cheticus was facing Vec with and he saw an early expansion, this time he knows his opponent can't come at him with anything else particularly early because he just killed the carrier, which is an extremely expensive unit. Killed a Void Ray and a Phoenix.
Wes almost plays like like Vaquith locked on to Stalkers and just made only Stalkers, and he was so bulldogged about it, he took everybody by surprise, because nobody does that. Whereas Wes is constantly changing and adapting his strategy. You could see that he held on tightly and then just let go right away. He said, okay, good, carriers are kind of now next, and he just moved right along. He's got a bunch of Phoenixes instead, so he's still making use of his Stargate, but he just moved right on to the next strategy. And this is a real chess game, kind of, point counterpoint. Everybody's, making a move and countering a move and making a new move. And like you said, he's got leg speed coming up. He's already got high Templars all set up with Psionic Storm. So just constantly changing strategies. So we'll have to see if Cheticus can keep up, because now Cheticus has a small army of Corruptors that have no purpose anymore. I guess
we see
Phoenix a little bit. That's it.
We see this is going to be a very interesting micro-intensive match because we can see Cheticus's production queue is like a mile long.
It's a mile long. It's all the way across the screen.
He has like everything coming up, and he's going to be able to deal with everything sort of, but no one mass unit really, really well, which I think would be a weakness against a strategy like Vecwith's. But we do have a bunch of high Templar, and they do have a lot of energy, so some key storms could do so much damage because Cheticus has a diverse army, but not a very big army. And we see a storm going down, not a good storm, killing a lot of his own zelts. That was a money storm right there. And forcing Hydras to have to maneuver. All those Corruptors useless, just flying overhead, not really doing much of anything. And I'd like to see him just focus on
bad with the storm. I mean, bad in a good sense. Just such evil storms just coming right down where they need to go. And not even hesitating about the Archon, but I think it's going to be a little too late for that. Cheticus just barely managing to fight that off. But yeah, he's in a weird position. These Corruptors are just kind of along for the ride now. I was going to mention this. I really liked that he had the Queens with his army. He had a few more Queens than he actually needed because he had already spread creep tumors. He already had one at each base. So he said, fine, I'll stick with my main army. And so he had that little extra air with his army. Good Infestors. He's got 3 Infestors out right now, moving right along the Hydralisks. Clever army. And meanwhile, Wes just, not even blinking and just not even hesitating and expanding while he attacked, but I think he's going to get a fierce counterattack right now.
Yeah, and we see the Dark Shrine also going up, so Wes is just going to throw everything and the kitchen stove, or I don't know what this is, but whatever. He's throwing something out of kitchen at his opponent, and Cheticus is responding pretty well. I mean, picking a very diverse mix that, it can't kill any one massed unit, but it can kill pretty much any small amount of units that Cheticus is having to deal with, like a few Templar mixed in, a few Phoenix, a few Void Rays. So I like what the position Cheticus is in right now. I think he'll be fine against these DTs. I mean, he has a few Spore Crawlers at random spots, and I think he'll be okay as far as detection goes. Plus, there's not really any kind of gap in Cheticus' information right now. I mean, he has this area down here, so he knows it's not going to come through the back rocks. He has the entire middle dominated, spreading his creep superbly. Again, the best creep spread Zerg in this tournament, whatever that means. But
Cheticus is now tier 3 with level 1 melee going up. He hasn't built an Ultralisk Cavern yet, but he is totally primed for Ultralisks now. So any minute now, he should probably be swapping tech to that.
Yeah, and he does have quite a bit of gas, so he needs actually his mineral income to catch up to his gas, which is kind of funny. And I think once he gets that, it's going to sort of deteriorate for Wes after that, because I mean, he has a tech for everything he needs to counter Ultralisk. He just doesn't have enough production facilities. I mean, he has like 5 gates, and then he has a starport, and then he has a fleet beacon, and he could just make a lot more of one thing, which is my main criticism here. I mean, Stalkers, for instance, would do really, really well against this army with a few Greater Spire, that's cool too. So
now he'll try to make some use of these Corruptors. I was going to say, because Wes was being smart, he had to go with Psionic Storm because there were so many Corruptors out there he couldn't risk Wow, look at those storms going down. He couldn't risk going for Colossi, so he had to go for the other AoE. But let's see if he has enough to hold this off. This is a big attack, and I think he's out of units.
And you see, it's not a particularly good army, big army, rather, it's an efficient one because his opponent doesn't have a big one either. And he does have a tech advantage. I mean, all he really has is some low-tech unit. Ooh, but he doesn't have detection right now, so these DTs are going to be able to... Never mind, there is detection, right? Or is there? I can't even see. Well, there's one DT being a hero right now.
There he goes.
Finally, fungal growth. Beautiful play.
Oh, is that? Oh, that's how he detected him. He was fungal growthing him. I was trying to figure out. I was like, how does he see him? Oh, gotcha. He revealed the invisible unit with fungal growth.
Yeah, maybe I should play on blue setting or something so I can see these effects going on. But there's one Archon trying to be a hero, but he's no hero. And I think once this goes down, he's just lost so many production structures. He's lost pretty much his main mining base. I mean, this one's not saturated all that well.
And Cheticus is even still like a step ahead. He's got a whole bunch of Broodlords coming. He just finished a whole bunch of Mutalisks. He's just he's got everything he needs now. This is absolutely game over. I think Wes is just coming to that realization himself.
GG. Can understand that. And it just seemed a little sloppily put together. It looks like he just wanted to do a bit of everything, a little indecisive on what tech